Yo, what's going on, my people? What's going on? YouTube land, big up yourself. You already know the vibes. All my podcast platforms, thanks for tuning in. We on episode number 17. It's been a journey. I appreciate you guys riding with me. I appreciate you guys coming on the journey and listening to what I have to say. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the subscriptions, all the comments, all the shares, all the likes. I appreciate it. Today's episode number 17, we are going to address, and we're going to call it common courtesy. Now, you would think people would have common courtesy just growing up, but you know, I'm realizing that a lot of people don't have it. Even when they're taught it in the home as a kid, you know, they get to an age where they feel that, you know, it's thrown out the window. You don't need it. You know, disrespect has now become a thing where, you know, once you get a certain age and you consider yourself an adult, the disrespect is just ridiculous. And you lose all common courtesy for adults, for grown-ups, for your senior, for elderly people. And, you know, you're just going about your way and going about your life like nothing matters. And you don't have to give respect. But you need to give respect at times to get respect. But, you know, a lot of these people nowadays, they are not given any, but they want it. And a lot of that falls into the aspect of there is no such thing as common courtesy. Common courtesy is something that, you know, you can be taught as a kid, but you can't be taught it as an adult. Nobody has the time out here to tell you what common courtesy is. People are just going to look at you as being an asshole, being rude, being disrespectful, and they're just going to eliminate you from their circle, eliminate you from their life, and they don't want to be around you. You know, let's dive a little bit deeper into common courtesy. You know, you're out here living your best life, and nobody's not telling you not to live your best life. You understand? But at the same time, doing these things, the people that is allowing you to get the resources and have the freedom of doing that, are you showing that common courtesy to them? You know, if they call you, if they send you a text, you know, and then they excuse, and I'm directing this to kids dealing with their parents, right? Because I've never seen a generation of kids that, you know, they are doing the most. They have technology at their fingertip. They have the information at their fingertip. But they're some of the laziest, unreliable, disrespectful generation ever. Now, I know a lot of people is going to disagree, and because they're in that generation, and it's fine. But a lot of that stems from there is no common courtesy. You know, you have family members and you have people around you that is trying to embrace you to and allowing you to live your life, which is fine. We're not telling you don't live your life. But you can't be going through being disrespectful to those same people. You know, I witness it within my own family, and I have friends that talk about it. You know, kids anywhere, I would say probably under 25 to, let's round it off, the teenagers of now to the young adults of about 25. They're doing the most. They have the most opinion. They have the most to talk about. They have the most to say. And one thing they don't have is common courtesy. There is none. You know, you call these kids to check up on them to make sure they are right. And they don't even appreciate the fact that that's what you're doing. They think you're calling to check up on them, which is it's bizarre. It's one of the weirdest thing I've ever seen. You know, you'd call these kids, you'd be like, you know, I know you're outside, and with the world we're living in, are you okay? It's like you trying to pull blood out of a rock. They barely want to answer. They barely want to give you a satisfaction of, I'm fine, I'm okay. And it can't be that way. And a lot of parents have this resentment and might have some type of frustration towards their kids. And the only thing is because there is no common courtesy. And you as a parent feel like you've done so much and you've sacrificed so much for them to have the life they have, for them at least not giving you that common courtesy in that respect. Everything you ask or everything you talk about is like you're bothering them. Now, if you're not firm in yourself as a person and you're not knowing that, it's a phase or it's just a generation, or you're just not in tune with yourself to not let a lot of little things bother you, this can create a lot of arguments and a lot of fights between the younger generation and the older generation, because that middle ground is not there. That middle ground of the common courtesy that we're talking about. They live under your roof, they eat your food, which, I don't agree with. Once a kid turn 18, you kick them out. If it's your kid, it's your kid. They want to stay home, it's fine. As long as they're doing something with their life. So as long as they're being productive, it's fine. That's not what we're getting at. We're getting at the common courtesy of the little things. For example, a lot of these kids nowadays, they go out with their friends. It takes 2 seconds to text and be like, I'm okay, I'm safe, I'll be home at this time. No, they thinking because they're grown, they're going to have to let you know nothing. They don't have to tell you where they're going. They don't have to tell you when they're coming home, right? They don't have to do none of these things because they feel like they get a taste of being an adult. So that's what a part of being an adult is, which is not. And I realize that with a lot of the younger people nowadays, they start feeling what being an adult is about. They have a job, they get to go out, they're driving, they have a license, they staying at hotels, they going on trips, they're going on vacation, and they think that's what adulting is all about. The harsh reality is it's good for now for a lot of you guys, if especially if you're in your early 20s and you're embracing these things and you don't have no real responsibilities, especially if you're living at home. And even if you're living by yourself, a lot of things, it won't kick in as yet because it hasn't become a priority. You're still trying to live your best life. So it hasn't become a priority to you as yet. And the common courtesy comes into places, whatever lifestyle you're living and where you're at in life, you need to reflect and understand who made sacrifices, who put you in that position. Who are you showing respect to? Who are you going to show gratitude to? To be in that position. No one is not saying that you have to, let people know where you are 24/7 night a day. But the common courtesy comes in of, if you have people around that cares and love you, it's only right for them to know and feel good to know where you are, because anything can happen. But because they have this sense of, I'm an adult now, I don't have to tell you anything, they harbor on that feeling and on those emotions of being grown and being an adult till it gets to the point of being disrespectful, and they don't see it that way. They're not seeing it that they're being disrespectful just because they don't have a simple form of common courtesy. And I'm going to tell you like this, I'm not saying all of them are that, because I feel it's a trait and I feel it's something that you have to have as an individual. You have some grown-ups that don't even have common courtesy. You're supposed to go hang out or you're supposed to go somewhere. They don't even have the common courtesy to tell you they're running late and give you an explanation. They either just don't show up or they come mad late and then want to come say what's up and smiling like everything is okay. So I don't want to make it seem like I'm just burdening the younger generation. I'm just showing you the trend of common courtesy sometimes start within the home with the kids and then it trickles over. So if they're not corrected to say, well, this is what you're doing and I don't like it and it's disrespectful, they're going to become adults that do the same thing and feel like it's okay. And then when you have people that don't tolerate those behavior, it's going to seem like they're being attacked. And that's not what it is. So I'm going to tell you guys, like, if you're a person and you feel like people is ghosting you or people just don't want to be around you or all of this stuff, you have to take a look in yourself. I got to take a look at myself at times. You know, is there things that I do that I need correcting that, you know, people don't like? You know, we're all adults, and sometimes we're in a position where people are not going to tell you what they don't like about you. And it's still fine, because you're not going to get along with everybody. Not everybody's going to like you. But within reason, especially if you're in a space of, you know, dealing with people on a daily, you have to be aware. You have to be aware of the person you are. You have to be aware of your behaviors. You have to be aware of your moods and how you are and how you act. And a part of that comes with having common courtesy. You know, I know they say chivalry is dead, which it is dead because you have majority of the men nowadays that they don't have that common courtesy of having that type of respect for women. You don't have to be a woman that you're dating or a woman in your family. It's just little things that, you know, you have to be taught. And I'm not going to blame it on, oh, there was no men in the household. They didn't grow up with their father. They grew up with we as men, we understand and we know these things. You're an uncle, you're a big cousin, you a man. You're supposed to guide the younger ones to let them know the do's and not to do's. So a simple thing as opening the door for a female. You understand? If you're going somewhere and a female's behind you and it's not a part of your party, once you go through that door, you can hold it until they come, and then you let the door go. These things we don't have. These things are common courtesy, guys. The car door, picking up a bag, helping at the grocery store, lifting up a jug of water, lifting up stuff at, if you're at Home Depot and you see a female shopping. First, you're going to ask, of course, to make sure it's okay. Because we also live in that culture and we live in that time where people like their personal space and they want to be independent and all these things. But you're not going to let that allow you just walking around in the world without having any common courtesy. The smallest things, guys, I'm telling you, in the workplace, you know, it's good to communicate. And a lot of people, the reason why there is no common courtesy is because they lack communication. They lack knowing how to communicate properly. You know, the pleases and the thank yous are disappeared with, you know, small little gestures of the shoved shoulders and the thumbs up and all these things. So instead of you articulating and verbalizing appreciation and gratitude and showing common courtesy through verbiage, you're stuck in body language and smirks, and sometimes people read those things wrong. So you have to know how to verbalize it. So coming back to the kids, parents, you have to let your kids know and understand common courtesy is very important, and they have to show that out in the world, because that's a part of our humanity. And when we start losing our humanity, we become animals, we become savages. You know, and then we wonder why the world is the way it is. A lot of people is hurting. And as small as it might sound, just having common courtesy, it can take you a long way through life. Smiling at someone and saying thank you. You know, you see someone on the street, hey, how you doing? How's your day going? We're not saying to sit there, you know, 10, 15 minutes and listen. No, but we're saying the common courtesy of acknowledging human beings. Take your head out the phones. You know, take your head out the screen. Acknowledge people around you. Sometimes that's all people need. Sometimes that's just the courtesy someone needs to show that they are there and they mean something to someone. And once again, it falls back from the home, guys. If you feel like you're in an environment where you walking past your kids day to day, all they're doing is in their phone, you're in your phone, you guys just, not talking about how your days are going, you're losing that humanity. Of course, yeah, you talk about other things. Oh, this is going on, what this person is doing, what you're going to eat, all of these things. But you got to incorporate conversations. Like, even if it's once a week, incorporate a time for you and your loved ones to sit down and have these communications. Talk about, their likes, their dislikes. Is there anything that's bothering them? Anything they want to talk about? Give them the opportunity to have the room to speak on their feelings, to speak on how they feel about anything, family related, job related, friend related, whatever. And a lot of times those conversations can lead to a rationalization and an agreement of, oh, that's all it was. It was no big deal. But because that forum is not there, it festers into a bigger thing and create bigger arguments, bigger breakouts, enemies, animosity. And then they walk around with this chip on their shoulder and this anger on their shoulder, and they go in the streets and it shows. And people don't want to be around people like that. People don't want to have to communicate with people like that. So a lot of little things that, we want to say, we want to change the world and do all these things, it starts within the home. So if you're an adult and you're listening to this, take a reflection on your life, in your home, in your space, wherever you reside, and find out if there's proper communication. Are people showing common courtesy in the household? Are people just living amongst each other as zombies and just focus on themselves and in their phones? We have to pay attention to these things. Small little things, once a week, family dinners, little things like that, sitting around the table, everybody eating. I get it. Everybody have their life, everybody is busy, but we have to make time for what's important. And I hate when people say I was busy, I didn't have the time. People make time for what's important. It doesn't matter how busy you are. It doesn't matter how many jobs you have, how many careers you have, how many businesses you have, how many money you have. People will make time for what's important to them. So that's not an excuse for speaking with your family, speaking with your friends, people around you, expressing these things, showing gratitude, like I said before, and just having the common courtesy of being polite and doing things in reflection so other people can do it to you. Because that's the next thing too. Some people were just never shown what common courtesy looks like. So they don't know what to do and they don't know how to reciprocate it to other people. A lot of people just have this defense that, they're saying, oh, people feel like I'm always rude and I'm always disrespectful. Yeah, you probably are, because you never was taught what common courtesy was. And in a nutshell, a lot of people still probably don't understand what common courtesy is. Common courtesy is just basically doing small things to show appreciation and reciprocating kindness. The smallest things, opening the door, like I said. If you're on public transportation and you see a senior or you see a pregnant woman, you get up, give them the seat. Little small gestures, small tokens of kindness. Common courtesy. It goes a long way, and it's a reflection on you as a person. You look at a lot of people, it doesn't matter how much money they have, how popular they are, celebrities, whoever. You know the ones that's assholes and you know the ones that's nice. Or the ones people like. Because they carry themselves a certain way. They have this aura about them, a lot of them carrying common courtesy with their everyday lives and how they live. Because you're never too big. You're never too popular to show humanity and to show people that you have common courtesy. You know, I'm not going to make it a drawn out topic today. It's just something that kind of was brought to my attention just for the simple fact that, you know, I overheard a conversation and the person was saying, "Hey, how you doing? I'm just calling to check up on you. Where are you?" And I heard the person on the other line saying, "I'm grown. I don't have to tell you where I'm at." And I'm like, yo, what is that about? Someone calling you to check up on you, and you're going to say in return, you're grown. You don't have to let them know where you are. You'll be home when you get home. And I'm like in the supermarket hearing this, like, lady, take your phone off speaker. You know, but I guess she was trying to get another response, or I guess she didn't expect the person to say that to her. Now, I don't know what transpired prior to that, but it doesn't matter. That sounds like a mother and daughter situation. So if the mother was calling and say, "How are you? Where are you? How is it?" You can't tell your mother that's none of her business. You get home when you get home. Like, there is no common courtesy, guys. That conversation should never happen. You know why? Because if that person had any sense of common courtesy, it would have been a phone call that would have said to her mom or whoever it might be, "Hey, I'm here. I'll be home in a few hours. I'm fine. Everything is good." That's what common courtesy is, guys. Giving someone the satisfaction and the freedom of knowing ahead of time that you're okay and you're fine and not to worry. You're eliminating them worrying about you. You're eliminating the concern of them thinking, "Are you okay?" But no, you're running off 2, 3, 4 days because you think you've grown, you're an adult, you doing all these things, and you don't have to check in. That's not good. You have no common courtesy for the adults around you or your family or your friend. And in many ways, that's a sign of disrespect. And no one wants to be disrespected. A lot of people are just tolerating disrespect because they're using that love card, and that family card is what keeps them in that little bubble. But let me tell you, it doesn't matter who it is. Someone's not showing you common courtesy, you address it once, you address it twice. And if that person decides not to change, that's disrespect. And that's terms of eliminating them out your life for good. Because no one needs anyone around here. No one needs anyone around just being disrespectful and just living a life that has no regards to you and your feelings. So common courtesy is important. We're not saying you have to let someone know your every move. Nobody's watching you. No one is trying to control you or belittle you. And that's where I'm coming from with a lot of the kids from this generation. This is the notion they have in their head about people, and people are checking up on them. So what they do is they have this thing like they feel they've grown and now they don't have to tell you nothing. And they don't understand that it's not a matter of telling you. It's a matter of satisfaction and a matter of keeping you sanity as the provider, as the adult, as a person that's around them, allowing them to have this freedom in a lot of ways. And it doesn't necessarily have to be parents. It could be grandparents. It could be uncles, aunts, older cousins, whatever it is. Common courtesy is important, guys. You go out with somebody and you leave. When you get home, send a text. "Hey, I'm home." You don't hear from the person in 3, 4 days, and you're like, "Shit, the last time I saw you is when we went out. I don't know if anything happened to you from then." What happened to the common courtesy? So now if I don't reach out to you to find out if you get home okay, I would never know. So it's like almost pulling teeth with people, because they don't have this common courtesy of clearing the air and making it suitable for everybody's mind and everybody's mental. You always have to be the one reaching out to make sure they're okay. That's not a good thing. Why should I be the one making sure you're fine? That should be common courtesy, because I'm going to always make sure to inform the people that needs to be informed I'm okay. You go to a function, you go somewhere, and you have a relationship with someone. Once that function is over, hey, I'm leaving here, I'm going here. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You understand? Common courtesy, just let someone know I'm okay. You know? And that's the thing. A lot of people don't have that, guys. And it's a problem. Having common courtesy can save a lot of relationships, whether it's with family or with friends. But when you don't have that, people will realize after a while that they're the ones always reaching out, making sure you're okay, because you never do. And that's the lacking of you not knowing what common courtesy is and just doing it just because. So pay attention. Sometimes people cut you off for things like that, and you might think it's something bigger when it's really not. But if someone feel like they always got to be the one reaching out, asking if you're okay, if everything's fine, and they can see, obviously, because everybody got social media, you doing all these things and you living your best life, but you don't even have the common courtesy of letting them know you're okay and you're doing fine, people will cut you off and stop dealing with you. And then you're in your mind wondering, what did you do? You never had the common courtesy to address people the right way, to be responsible, respectful, and let people know you're okay. As simple as just, I'm okay, I'm doing fine. But no, every day of the week, someone has to call. Are you okay? Are you fine? Is everything okay? Do you need anything? If you need something, you probably don't need anything because you ain't calling anyway. And that goes another way. You only gonna call when you want something. So people see things like that. There is no common courtesy. Like, this person never called me unless they want something. So maybe the relationship is not genuine. It's a using type of situation. You know, and then when you get what you want, I don't hear from you for another month, 2 months, 3 months. There is no common courtesy of just calling to check up and calling to check in. And some people, that's all they want. That's all they require, all they need. But when you're not getting that, that's a sign of disrespect. And you already know how that goes. Everybody has their own perception of what disrespect is and the rules of engagement when it comes to disrespect. Everybody has their own thoughts on that. You know? So I just wanted to leave you guys with a message because it came to mind when I went to the supermarket, guys. Common courtesy does go a long way, and it can avoid a lot of arguments and a lot of fights. It doesn't take much, guys. You live in a household, or you live with people, or just family, parents, grandparents, whatever it is. Common courtesy. Hey, grandma, I'm doing okay. When I get time, I come check up on you. Do you know how good that would make your grandmother feel? Instead of a year pass, 2 years pass, you don't call, you don't say shit. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, when she do reach out, you're rushing her off the phone. Like, and it goes a lot of different ways, a lot of different relationship, a lot of different factors. And like I said, everybody out here is busy, but people know what to make time for, no matter how busy they are. So I don't want to hear no one saying they busy shit, and that's why they don't check in, and that's why this is that way and that is that way. People make time for what they want to make time for. Whether it's a call, whether it's a text, whether it's a visit. Have common courtesy. It will take you a long way. And if you don't have common courtesy, you just don't care about the people that's around you or the people that's addressing these issues with you. And that's fine. Just make that person know that I don't give a shit about you or your opinion. I don't have to let you know nothing, and that it is what it is. Let that person know, and then that person will deal with you accordingly, whoever it might be. But if you value someone's relationship, common courtesy will take you a long way, because if you don't have that common courtesy, valuing that relationship won't mean much when that person cuts you off and don't want to deal with you. So thank you guys for tuning in. on another episode. It's been awesome. Like I said, appreciate all the love, all the support. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the shares. Thanks for the likes. All podcast platforms. Big up yourself. YouTube. Big up yourself. You already know the vibes. Bless up. Like we say, positive thoughts equal positive results. Positive vibes every time. And this is the Prolific Vibes Podcast. My name is Ricardo. People call me Rick. Some people call me Rock. Some people call me Rick Rock. It don't matter. I'm here sharing the message. Blessed love. Until next episode. All right?
Yeah.